There were 89 dairy farms that went on the open market last year working through a real estate firm, above 20 hectares. So to Paul's point and previous speakers' points, the opportunities, the reason we're trying to spotlight on that is that 3 years ago, it was closer to 214. And even that's half what it would have been when the foreign ownership and all the other activity was going on. So this, by any analysis, the tide has gone right out, and ultimately, it's just the law of nature, the tide will come back in. And so that's probably the reason we're going to be doubling down on working with this investment and the yield and this approach. Next slide, thanks. And correspondingly, you'll see that the returns, in terms of, the underlying market size, there's more horticulture sold now than there is dairy farms. We haven't seen that before, and so there's a huge trend now in terms of, if you actually have a look at the money transacting, has dropped significantly from about 2.6 billion to about 1.7. So the market has stood back through all this. When markets lose confidence, people stand back. It's a little bit like that Fonterra story that we're talking about, where the share price dropped well below $4 and now has bounced back. Once the market's got confidence, by the time the market has got confidence, things have already changed again. And so we do see somewhat of a first mover advantage in the primary sector, and certainly our dairy sector seems to be underdone. Last one. And while we've used some big numbers, and because these category guys, they've got large farming operations, a big weight of money involved. But just note, 70% of the dairy farms sold in New Zealand last year were under $5 million. And if you had $2 or $3 million to invest, there are certainly really good opportunities, including the West Coast, where I was on the weekend. But there are really good investment opportunities across New Zealand, depending on what your objectives are. And you don't have to have $10 million to make a start. $1 million can actually make a start, and if you go forward, it does take real capital. But if you have a look at what properties are selling for, residential properties are selling for, those numbers, and you look at the return, it's a very positive story.